Elias Rain walked alone through the wild forest. His boots crushed fallen leaves, and his backpack made soft sounds with every step. The air was thick with the smell of earth, flowers, and old wood. Sunlight broke through the tall trees above. Dancing on the moss-covered ground, he looked around carefully. This part of the world was different and touched by cities, machines, or roads. Most humans avoided it. Their old maps called it the Forbidden Green. Satellites didn't work here. Radios stayed silent. But Elias wasn't like other people. He was a scavenger, a seeker of old things, and a man who listened to forgotten stories. He had heard rumors of a hidden energy signal deep in this forest. Not a machine signal, but something more something. Alive, his scanner, a small round device on his wrist, blinked slowly. It showed strange energy patterns moving like waves. "That's not normal tech," Elias whispered. He stepped over a broken tree root and pushed deeper into the green. Trees grew taller here, and the ground was soft with glowing moss. Strange. Flowers opened as he passed, releasing soft blue lights. The deeper he went, the quieter the forest became. No birds, no wind. Just the soft hum of life. After some time, Elias reached a wide clearing. His eyes widened. In the center of the clearing stood a massive tree. Its trunk was thick and smooth, glowing softly with green and gold patterns. Its leaves shimmered like glass in the sunlight. Round it, vines danced in the air as if they were alive. And at the base of the tree stood a girl. She was unlike anyone Elias had ever seen. Her skin was light brown and smooth, her hair long and silver like moonlight. Her eyes glowed a soft green like the tree itself. She wore clothes made of leaves and silk, shaped perfectly to her body. She stood still, calm, like part of the forest. Elias stopped in his tracks. The girl turned and looked at him. "You have come," she said in a quiet voice. Elias blinked. "Who are you?" The girl stepped forward slowly. "I am Leora. This is my grove." Elias felt his heart beat faster. "I didn't mean to enter your land. I was following a signal." "The grove called to you," she said. "It has waited many years." Elias didn't understand. "What do you mean?" "Just a scavenger. I don't belong here." Leora walked closer. "You are human. You carry the spark. The rite has begun." Before he could respond, green vines shot up from the ground. They wrapped gently around his wrists, not tight or painful, but firm, glowing softly. "Hey," Elias tried to pull back, but the vines held him in place. "What is this?" Leora placed her hand on his shoulder. "Do not fear. The rite does not harm." "It bonds." "Bonds?" Elias asked. "Bonds what?" "You and me," Leora said calmly. "You are chosen." Elias looked around in shock. "I didn't choose anything. The grove chooses," she replied. "What has chosen you?" The vines slowly faded, leaving glowing marks on his skin like tattoos made of light. Elias looked at them, confused and a little scared. "What's happening to me?" "You are now connected to this grove," Leora said. "To me, your life is joined with the forest. We are bound by the ancient rite." Elias sat down on the grass, trying to understand. "This is crazy. I was just looking for a signal." "I didn't ask for this." Leora sat beside him. "The world is changing. The old machines are dying. The earth is waking. Long ago, humans and the Scifi were one. They worked together to heal the land, but time broke that bond. Now it must." "Return Scifi?" Elias asked. "I am Scifi," she said. "We were created long ago to protect nature. We are part plant, part human, part something more. We were made to help Earth live again." Elias looked at her closely. She didn't seem like a machine, but she wasn't fully human either. Her eyes sparkled with life, and her voice was calm, full of wisdom. "So, why me?" "You carry the spark," she said. "Very few humans still do. It means you can hear the forest. You can speak with the land." Elias laughed softly. "I don't hear anything. Listen with your heart, not your ears," Leora said. Elias looked around. The tree above them pulsed slowly with light, like a heartbeat. The air felt alive. For the first time, he noticed the forest wasn't just quiet, it was listening. Suddenly the ground shook slightly. Birds flew out of the trees. A strange dark mist rose from the east. Leora stood quickly. Her eyes narrowed. "They are coming," Leas asked, getting to his feet. "The Ashburn?" she said. "Corrupted machines. They burn and destroy. All that lives. They have found this grove before. Now they come again." Ilias grabbed his pack. "Then we need to leave." Leora shook her head. "We cannot. The heart of the grove is weak. If we leave it, it will die. If it dies, the forest will fall because of this." "Bond," Elias said slowly. "If the forest dies, I die too." "Yes," Leora answered softly. "We must protect the heart. Together." Elias looked at her. "So I'm stuck here, with a glowing tree, a talking forest, and machines that want to burn us all?" Leora smiled gently. "Yes." Elias sighed. "Well, could be worse." Looked at the great tree, then at Leora. Something deep inside him felt calm, like he was meant to be here. "All right," he said. "Let's save your grove." Leora touched his hand. "No, our grove now." And above them, the forest whispered. Elias sat quietly beside the glowing tree, his wrists still marked with soft green light from the strange vines. The forest around him shimmered with life. The air smelled of earth, flowers, and something sweet he couldn't name. He looked at Leora, the elf girl with silver hair and eyes like starlight. She sat across from him, calm and peaceful, as if she belonged to the forest itself. Her skin glowed faintly under the sunlight that passed through the leaves above. "What did you do to me?" Elias asked, still confused and a little afraid. Leora looked at him kindly. "The grove has chosen you," she said in a soft voice. "The rite of union has begun." Elias frowned. "I didn't choose anything, just walked in here." "The forest remembers," Leora replied. "Long ago, your kind helped create us. The rite is ancient. It is older than memory, older than war. When the forest finds one with the spark, the rite starts again." Elias looked down at his hands. The green light was fading slowly, but he could still feel something inside him. A gentle warmth. A connection. Like the trees were breathing with him. "What spark?" he asked. "You carry the resonant spark," she said. "It means you are one of the few humans who can speak with the living systems of this world. The earth knows you. The grove recognizes you. You are not just a traveler anymore. You're a part of us." Elias shook his head. "This is crazy. Just a scavenger. I fix old machines and find scrap for credits. I don't talk to trees." Leora smiled gently. "You do now." Suddenly, the ground shook slightly. A low hum moved through the trees like a warning. Birds flew away in a burst of color. The forest was uneasy. "What was that?" Leah stood up quickly. "The heart is weakening," Leora said. "The center of the grove. It is dying slowly. That is why the rite brought you here. The heart needs healing. Without it, the forest will fall." Elias looked around and let me guess. "If the forest dies, I die too." Leora nodded, "Yes. The rite binds us. Your life is now linked with mine. Until the heart is healed, we must stay together. If I fall, so will you." Elias laughed nervously. "Well, that's just perfect." But deep down, he wasn't angry. A strange calm was growing in him. The forest no longer felt like a trap. It felt alive, warm, even protective. Leora stood up, her long robes brushing the mossy ground. "Come, we must begin our journey to the heart. It is deep within the grove. The path is dangerous, but with you, the forest may help us." Walked together through glowing trees and thick vines. Strange animals watched them from the shadows, not with fear but curiosity. Flowers opened as they passed. The forest seemed to breathe with every step they took. As they walked, Elias asked, "What are you exactly? You don't look human, but you don't seem like an alien either." "I am Sylvie," Leora said. "We were created in the last days of the old world. Scientists and dreamers made us part plant, part human, part machine. We were made to heal the world when the war ended, but few humans survived. And the Rite was forgotten. Elias was quiet. He had heard stories of the world before, the burning cities, the sky filled with fire, the machines that turned against their makers. But this was different. This was a part of history that had been lost. So I'm the first human to find. This place in ... how long? Many lifetimes, Leora said. Most Sylvie sleep now, hidden deep in the earth. I remained here, waiting for the spark to return. Elias looked at her. And now that it has? Leora stopped. They had reached a wide cliff. Below, the forest stretched endlessly. At the center, far in the distance, was a great glowing tree, taller than a mountain. Its light pulsed slowly, like a weak heartbeat. That is the heart, she said. Keeps the grove alive, but something is poisoning it. Elias narrowed his eyes. He could see dark smoke rising from the base of the tree. Something was burning. What's down there? He asked. Leora's face darkened. Machines. Ashburn. Elias turned to her. I thought the machines were gone. Some survived. Twisted things made of steel and fire. They hate life. They eat forests and melt rivers. They are coming. Elias clenched his fists. So I'm bound to a girl I just met, connected to a dying forest, and now we're being hunted by killer robots. Leora smiled faintly. Yes, he sighed. Well, could be worse. They sat on the edge of the cliff as night came. Stars appeared above them, and the trees glowed softly in the dark. Leora pulled out a small orb of light and placed it between them. It showed a map of the forest, alive and moving like veins. On a leaf, we must reach the heart in 3 days, she said. After that, it will be too late. Elias looked at her, at the strange but beautiful world around him, and at the glowing map. He didn't know how, but something inside him had already changed. All right, he said. Let's save her. Forest. Leora looked at him, her eyes full of quiet hope. No, our forest now. And under the light of the stars, the forest. Elias and Leora moved carefully through the deep forest. The trees here were older and taller. Their roots twisted like thick ropes across the ground, and strange lights floated above the moss like glowing fireflies. The forest was beautiful, but Elias could feel something wrong. The air was heavy, the birds were silent. The wind carried a burnt smell. Leora paused and touched the bark of a large tree. It pulsed with dim green light, then turned brown and cracked. The corruption is spreading faster, she said, worry in her voice. Elias looked ahead. Is it the Ashburn? She nodded. Yes, machines that survived the Great Collapse. Live by destroying nature. They have no heart, no feeling. They only burn and take. Elias had seen broken robots in the old city's metal bodies rusted in the dirt, but he had never fought one. He reached into his backpack and pulled out his pulse knife. It was an old human weapon. Short, sharp, and glowing faint blue. I hope this is enough, he said. Leora looked at him. Steel alone cannot stop them. But with the grove's help, we may stand a chance. As they moved forward, the trees began to change. The green. Leaves turned gray, vines withered. They found the first signs of the Ashburn black scorch marks on the trees and melted earth. A small creature lay dead near a bush, its fur burnt. Elias felt anger rise in his chest. Suddenly Leora raised her hand. Stay still. Elias froze. He heard a low hum, mechanical, sharp, cold, a sound that did not belong in nature. From behind a tree, a tall shape stepped out. It was made of black metal, with glowing red lines across its chest. Its arms were long, and its fingers sharp like blades. It was an Ashburn scout Elias held. His breath? The machine turned its head slowly, scanning the forest. Leora whispered, "Don't move. The forest is hiding us." The machine took a step forward, then stopped. It made a strange clicking sound, then turned away and disappeared into the trees. Elias exhaled. That thing was huge. They are only scouts, Leora said quietly. The real danger is still ahead. They continued walking until they reached a high hill. Below it, the forest opened into a wide clearing. But it was no longer green. The ground was black. Trees were burning. In the middle stood a strange structure, half machine, half living tree. Elias stared. "What is that?" Leora's face was pale. It was a memory vault, a place where forest knowledge was kept. The Ashburn have twisted it. They are using it as a base. At that moment, Elias saw something move. Dozens of Ashburn walked around the structure. Some carried weapons. Others drilled into the roots. In the center stood a tall figure wearing a dark robe and a metal mask. Leora whispered, "That is the priest of cinders, a human, or what is left of him." Elias's eyes widened. "A human? Working with them?" "Yes. He believes nature must be erased. He worships flame and steel. He leads the Ashburn now." Elias felt sick. "So he's one of us." "Helping them destroy everything?" Leora nodded sadly. "Not all. Humans are like you." They watched as the priest raised a metal staff and spoke in a voice full of static. The Ashburn moved faster, drilling deeper into the corrupted vault. Elias stepped back. "We have to stop them." Leora shook her head. "We're not strong enough yet. But there is something inside that vault, an old recording. Your ancestor left it for someone like you. We must get it." Elias blinked. "My ancestor? You're sure?" "Yes. The one who helped create the Scifi. The one who began the Rite." Elias felt a strange pull inside him. Maybe it was the bond, or the forest, or something deeper. But he nodded. "All right. Let's find that message." That night, they crept toward the ruined vault. Leora used her power to silence their steps. The grove helped them leave, softened their path and branches, hid their bodies. The Ashburn did not notice. Inside the vault, the walls were covered in vines and wires. The air was thick with smoke. In the center stood a glowing crystal, half buried under broken roots. Leora placed her hand on the crystal. It lit up, and a soft voice filled the room. It was a man's voice, clear, warm, and old. "If you are hearing this, and the forest has not died, that means there is hope. My name is Dr. Samuel Rain. I was part of the last team to protect Earth's living systems. We created the Scifi to heal the world, but we failed. War came too fast. Elise's heart skipped. Rain, my last name, is Rain." The message continued. "There is only one way to restore balance. A human with the spark must bond with a Scifi and awaken the heart engine. If you have found her, protect her. The world depends on both of you." The message ended. Elias stared at the crystal. "That was my great-grandfather. I never knew." Leora touched his shoulder. "Now you do." Suddenly, a loud crash echoed outside. The Ashburn had spotted them. The priest's voice roared through the trees. "Resonant found. Capture them." Elias grabbed Leora's hand. "Run." They rushed out of the vault as red lights flashed behind them. Ashburn soldiers chased them, fire burning in their wake. Elias looked back and threw a small pulse bomb. It exploded with blue light, shaking the ground and slowing their enemies. They escaped into the trees, breathless and tired. Behind them, the vault burned, but the message was clear. Elias was not just a scavenger anymore. He was part of something great. Elias and Leora ran deeper into the forest. Their legs were tired, and smoke from the burning vault rose into the night sky. Red lights still blinked far behind them. Mashborn scouts were searching, but for now, the trees had hidden them again. They stopped beside a quiet stream. Leora knelt and touched the water, whispering to it in the old language. The stream glowed softly, then returned to normal. "They won't find us here." Elias sat down on a rock, breathing hard. That was too close. He looked at her, worry in his eyes. "Are you okay?" Leora nodded, though her face was pale. "The grove is protecting us, but the corruption is stronger now. Even the trees are growing afraid." Elias pulled out a small energy bar from his pack and offered it to her. She smiled and took a bite, surprised by the sweet taste. "I never thought I'd be running from machines with an elf," Elias said with a tired laugh. Leora tilted her head. What is an elf? He blinked. You, sort of. It's an old human word. Stories, legends, beings of nature and magic. I guess you're the real version, she smiled. And maybe legends are just memories. They rested a while, and then... Leora stood. We must continue. There is a place near the heart where we can prepare, a living temple of code and root. It was built to connect humans and Sylvie during the Rite. Elias nodded and followed her. The forest around them grew stranger trees shaped like towers, leaves humming with light. Glowing vines moved slightly when touched. It felt like walking. Through a dream? After hours of travel, they reached a wide hill with a massive tree at the center. Its roots twisted into the ground like cables. Its bark had patterns glowing in soft blue light like old circuits. This is the sanctuary, Leora said. It is alive, and it remembers everything. They stepped inside a hollow part of the tree. Elias felt a strange pressure in his mind, like a voice trying to speak without words. Lights flickered around them, and then a low hum filled the space. Place your hand here, Leora said, pointing to a stone covered in moss and metal. Elias obeyed. The moment he touched it, the tree lit up from within. Images appeared in the air, memories of the past. Cities covered in green, humans, and Sylvie working together, forests growing over broken buildings. Then the images changed: fires, metal beasts, destruction. The Ashborn. Suddenly, Elias found himself standing in a bright white space. Leora was beside him, but everything else was strange and empty. Where are we? He asked. We are inside the grove's memory, she said. It wants to test us. Voice filled the space, not loud but deep and old. Why do you seek the heart? Elias took a breath. Because it's dying. Because the world needs it. You are human. Your kind caused the fall. I know, Elias said honestly, but not all humans wanted that. Some tried to save it. My great-grandfather was one of them. Do you carry his purpose? I don't know, Elias said. But I'm trying. I didn't come here to be a hero. I came here by accident. But now that I'm here, I won't run. The voice went silent. Then it spoke again. And you, Sylvie. Do you still believe in humans? Leora stepped forward. I waited for centuries in the dark. I waited with hope. Elias carries the spark. He is not perfect, but he is brave. He chose to help. The white space began to glow brighter. Then the voice said, Then show us your unity. In an instant, Elias felt his heart race. Visions flooded his mind, memories of loneliness, fear, wandering alone in the ruins, feelings he had buried deep. He saw himself as a child, hiding during storms, fixing broken tech to survive. Then he saw Leora's memories, long years of silence, walking through a sleeping forest, speaking to trees that never answered, guarding the grove alone. The pain, the hope, the waiting, they shared it now. And slowly, the vision changed. Elias saw them standing together, side by side, facing the Ashburn. He saw himself reaching into the earth and pulling life from it. He saw Leora smiling under the stars, and then the forest bloomed again. Light faded, and they were back inside the sanctuary. The tree pulsed with energy, stronger now. Leora looked at Elias. The grove accepts us. Elias blinked. So, I passed. Yes, we both did. She touched his arm. Your bond is stronger now. You can speak to the grove if you listen. You can feel its pain, its joy, its warnings. You are more than just a human now. Elias looked at his hands. He could feel something new inside him, a quiet connection, like whispers under the skin. The forest was alive in him, but before they could speak more, the ground shook. Loud crack echoed through the trees. Leora stepped outside the sanctuary, eyes wide. No, she whispered. Elias followed her. In the distance, dark smoke was rising. Fire spread across the treetops. The heart tree, far away, was burning at the base. They've reached it, Elias said. Leora's face grew hard. The Ashburn are attacking now. We have no more time. Elias grabbed his knife. Then let's fight. Leora held out her hand. Not just with blades, with the forest. Around them vines curled in rows. The trees moved slightly, shifting their branches like arms. The forest was waking up. "We will go to the heart," she said. "But this time, we do not run. We stand." Elias looked at her, then at the living trees. For the first time, he didn't feel like a stranger here. He felt ready. The battle for the grove had begun. The forest shook under heavy footsteps. Ashburn machines marched through the outer grove, their metal bodies glowing red with fire. Trees burned behind them. Black smoke filled the sky. The sound of steel grinding against earth echoed far and wide. From a tall branch, Elias looked down at the enemy army. His heart beat fast, but he didn't feel fear. "Not anymore. They're getting closer," he said. Turning to Laura, she stood beside him, her silver hair tied back, her face calm, but strong. "Yes, the heart is in danger, but the forest is with us now." Around them, the forest had changed. The grove had awakened. Vines moved with purpose, and glowing plants lit hidden paths. Strange creatures with glowing eyes stood ready near. The trees. They were the old defenders, forest guardians, long asleep, now returned. Elias held his pulse knife tightly. "What's the plan?" "We strike first," Leora said. "Surprise is our only advantage." Elias nodded.
Let's do
it. That night, the forest moved like a living army. Leora led the way, her hands glowing green as she whispered to the plants. Vines uncurled and stretched across the ground, forming traps and walls. Trees bent slowly, creating a path only they could. Elias placed small devices, ancient tech, powered by sunlight and forest energy. When triggered, they would release shockwaves and sound bursts. Old tools, now serving a new cause. Near the edge of the heart grove, they waited in silence. The heart tree stood tall in the distance, glowing faintly. Smoke still rose from its roots. Then the Ashburn arrived. 100 machines stomped through the trees, fire in their eyes. At their front, the tall figure of the Priest of Cinders marched, holding his black staff high. "Burn the roots," he commanded, in a voice like broken metal. "Let the forest die." But before they could attack, the forest struck first. Vines shot from the ground, grabbing legs and arms. Traps exploded with light and sound. Roots lifted from the soil and knocked machines off balance. Strange forest beasts charged, glowing with green energy. Elias and Leora joined the fight. He moved fast, cutting wires and dodging metal arms. His blade pulsed with light from the grove. It was stronger now, connected to the forest's will. Leora stood tall, her hands raised. With every motion, trees moved like soldiers. Leaves became blades. Flowers released clouds that made machines. Short dash circuit that the battle was wild and fierce, but the Ashburn were not weak. Flamethrowers roared, burning vines, saws tore through roots. The Priest of Cinders stepped forward, striking the ground with his staff. A wave of red energy blasted the trees back, sending Elias flying. He hit the ground hard, but rolled to his feet. "Elias!" Leora shouted, throwing a shield of green light around him just in time to block a laser. "I'm okay!" he yelled back. "Keep going!" The two fought side by side, defending the heart tree. But more machines kept coming. Elias was getting tired. His hands shook. His energy was fading. Suddenly, the priest's voice rang out across the battlefield. "Enough. Give me the spark, human. It belongs to progress, not this dying dirt." Elias stood up, blood on his lip. "You had progress. You turned it into fire and ashes. We're building something better." "You are weak," the priest growled. "Nature cannot win." Behind the priest, a giant Ashburn machine rose from the trees. It was shaped like a spider, with 6 legs and 2 cannons on its back. Flames burned from its mouth. "The Ash Titan," Leora said softly. "They've brought their final weapon." Elias looked around. The forest was burning in places. Creatures had fallen. Even the heart tree's light was dimming. He felt fear again, but this time it came with something else. Determination. He closed his eyes and reached inside. The grove answered. He felt its pain, its hope, its strength. He saw its roots stretching across the world, its dreams of healing. He felt the bond with Leora pulsing like a heartbeat. The spark inside him lit up. Elias stepped forward. His body glowed with green light, vines wrapping around his arms like armor, the heart tree responded. Its light grew stronger. The forest began to sing. He looked at Leora. Let's finish this. Together, they charged toward the Ash Titan. Elias jumped over burning roots, dodging cannon blasts. Leora summoned a wave of water from the grove's underground rivers to block the flames. Elias climbed the Titan's leg and stabbed his blade into a power core. Energy sparked. The Titan roared, Liora, called down lightning through the trees. It struck the Titan's head, cracking the armor. The Titan stumbled, but it wasn't done yet. The priest of cinders appeared, rising through the smoke. His staff glowed red as he aimed it at the heart tree. I will end this world, he shouted. But Elias, glowing with the grove's light, leaped through the air and tackled him. They fell to the ground in a burst of sparks. The two fought hand-to-hand steel against nature. But the forest guided Elias's every move. With one final strike, Elias drove his knife through the priest's chest. The red light in the staff faded. The machines froze. The Titan collapsed. The battle was over. Silence returned to the forest. The trees stood tall again. The flames died out. The Ashburn, without their leader, powered down and crumbled. Elias fell to his knees, exhausted. Leora rushed to his side, her hand glowing as she healed his wounds. You did it, she said. We did it, Elias replied, smiling. The heart tree pulsed with bright light. The forest was alive again. Elias looked around. Is it over? Leora nodded. The heart is safe. But there are other forests still asleep, other places still in pain. Elias stood slowly. Then we go to them, she smiled. Yes, Guardian and Sylvie, together. The war was won, but their journey was only beginning. The forest was quiet again. Soft green light glowed from the heart tree. Its branches stretched wide, leaves shimmering like stars. Ground around it, once dark and broken, was now full of blooming flowers, fresh grass, and glowing vines. Elias stood beneath the great tree, breathing deeply. The air was different now, clean, full of life. Touched the bark gently and closed his eyes. He could feel the grove's heartbeat inside him. Leora stood beside him, her hand resting lightly on his arm. She looked tired, but peaceful. The heart is safe, she said softly. The forest is healing, Elias nodded. It feels alive. Stronger than before. Yes, Leora said. It remembers you. All around them, forest creatures had returned. Birds sang in the treetops. Small animals darted through the grass. The trees swayed slowly, as if breathing with the wind. The Ashburn machines were gone. The battle was over. Something deeper had changed. Elias looked at his hands. Green. Lines glowed faintly on his skin marks, left by the bond with the grove. They didn't hurt. They felt warm like sunlight. He turned to Leora. What am I now? She smiled. You are still human, but also more. The rite is complete. Guardian of this grove, Elias laughed quietly. A few days ago, I was just a scavenger. Now I'm part of a living forest. You were always more than a scavenger, Leora said. Forest saw it, and now you've seen it too. They walked together through the grove, trees bent. Slightly as they passed, flowers opened to face them. Elias could hear faint whispers in the wind-soft voices of the forest. Welcoming him, he and Leora reached the edge of a small lake. The water was crystal clear, and in the reflection, Elias saw himself not just as a man, but as something new. His eyes glowed faint green. His body was stronger, his movements smoother. Nature and technology lived together inside him now. Leora placed a hand on his shoulder. The world is not safe yet. This grove is healed, but others are still in pain. Other hearts are still sleeping. Elias looked at the forest, stretching out before them. Then we wake them. One by one, she nodded. It will be a long journey. Don't mind, he said. I finally feel like I belong somewhere. They returned to the heart tree one last time. As they stood beneath it, vines rose slowly and wrapped around their hands, not tightly, but gently, like a goodbye, a deep. The voice came from the tree, not words, but feelings. The grove was thankful. It was alive again because of them, and it would remember the next morning. Elias and Leora prepared to leave. Elias had crafted a new cloak from forest silk, tough and light. He carried a staff made from living wood, which could grow into any tool he needed. Leora wore armor grown from glowing bark, shaped to her body like a second skin. They had become more than warriors. They were symbols of the bond between man and nature. Before leaving, Elias knelt and pressed his palm to the earth. Thank you, whispered. The ground pulsed softly beneath his hand. Leora looked at him with quiet pride. The other forests will hear of this. The Rite is alive again. Others may follow. Leah smiled. Then let's give them hope. They stepped into the trees together. The grove opened a path for them, lit with soft green light leading toward the mountains. Far beyond, as they walked, birds flew above and trees whispered goodbye. The forest faded behind them. But the bond remained strong. Days passed. They crossed rivers, climbed hills, and moved through ruins of the old world cities covered in vines, roads cracked by roots. Elias used his new connection to guide them. He could feel the land sense danger and hear the whispers of trees. In one ruined town, they found a sleeping heart beneath the ground. Machines had buried it long ago. Leora reached into the soil with her power, while Elias removed the metal with his tools. Together they awakened it. The trees around them bloomed instantly. Life returned. Word of their journey spread through the Sylvi, who were hidden in far places. Some began to rise from their long sleep, joining Elias and Leora. They believed again. Elias was no longer alone. He had a purpose. One night, they camped beside a glowing stream under the stars. Elias stared up at the sky. Do you think there are others like me out there? He asked. Leora sat beside him.
Yes.
The spark was rare, but not lost. The Rite calls to those ready to listen. Elias nodded. Then maybe one day the world will be full of guardians. Leora smiled. That is the dream. He looked at her, eyes full of warmth. I'm glad I found your grove. She touched his hand gently. You didn't find it. It found you. And in the quiet night, the earth itself seemed to hum with life. The stars above twinkled like distant memories. Elias closed his eyes and listened to the wind, to the trees, to the song of the world, and deep within the grove